you put in your feed that this made up Adam Silver creation, he was sitting on a beach somewhere, sipping on something, some fruity drink, some with like a little umbrella in it. He's having a good time. Maybe somewhere in Mexico, somewhere the Amalfi Coast, I don't know, where rich people go. He was somewhere, and he had to start, you know what, I'm going to have an in-season tournament, and it's going to be comparable to like some soccer tournaments in Europe, whatever, and we're going to do this. And you, Jeff, had the nerve to write, put that up. That's crazy on the screen for those listening on Sirius XM. You can't see it, but I'm going to tell it to you. Make sure, pull over before I say this, pull over.
They're probably in traffic right now anyway, so it's all good.
That's right. I don't want any accidents. He says, Jeff says, the in-season tourney is greater than March Madness. What? How?
Listen.
Why?
I had to listen for years as journalists jumped out the window and said March Madness was better than the NBA playoffs. So I looked at the window, checked the height like a cat. You know how they measure before they jump. Yeah. And I said, the air feels good and crisp. Let me jump out the window and say that I like the in-season tournament better than March Madness right now, because if my paid players are going to perform in a single elimination tournament, I'd rather them play at the highest level instead of watching 18 and 19-year-old kids fling shots from 75 feet. And I only care because I got a bracket going or I'm in a survivor pool. So I'm going to vote for Wichita State. I'm going to be bought into Wichita State for the next 20 minutes because I'm trying to win some money, you know? And it was said a little bit tongue in cheek, because I will say the aura and the culture around March Madness, when we have that first weekend and work is optional and we're going to a bar and we have 15 screens up and we're watching March Madness. And if you went to college or you root for a college team, you have a vested interest if your team is in the tournament. I definitely know that. I would just say, when you put the greatest players in the world in a single round robin elimination type tournament, you're going to get the highest level of basketball that you're going to see. I wouldn't normally care about Knicks Hornets in November, only because I'm a sicko Knicks fan and I love the game of basketball and I love watching, but normally that wouldn't have me tapped in. We've seen these stakes added to the game that has elevated these games in the pre-Christmas, has elevated the games to a level of importance we haven't seen in a while, and it's been fun. The game is about buckets, and I like seeing buckets, and I like seeing these players compete when there's something on the line. So I got all of that in one. So yeah, I'm tapped into the in-season tournament, man.
So let me just get this straight, okay? I just want to make sure I was listening to you. So it's like in politics, when one side has this, like, you know, the State of the Union, whoever's in power, they got the State of the Union, and then the other side comes out with a response. Okay, you know what? I know what y'all just heard this joker say, but here's my response. So really, it's a response to some nonsense that the other side has thrown your way. The other side has said, hey, March Madness is better than the NBA playoffs, and you correctly saying, oh, no. Because I agree with you. The NBA playoffs, if I can have the best players in the world going at it for their championship, as opposed to some kids going at it for their championship, well, give me the best players in the world. Give me the highest art. Give me the best stuff. Whatever. There's no question. So I agree with you there. But when you bring it to the in-season tournament, you already said it, Jeff. You just said it. What happens when you got the best players competing for something meaningful? You get great basketball. We already had that. It starts in April. It's the NBA playoffs. It starts in April. We don't need it in December. We already got it. And we have it in April, and it's not single elimination. It's a series, because in March Madness, playing 40 minutes, anybody can. You might get upset playing 40 minutes, one game, winner moves on, loser go home. 7-game series, 48 minutes. You lose a series, you deserve to lose a series. You're not better. You're not better than the other team. So I just didn't think it was necessary. I never bought the premise that, these games, these games don't really matter. They matter to me. I'm a basketball fan. I love November basketball. You don't have to throw any kind of Vegas trip on it. You don't have to have these courts that any artist out there, by the way, where are my artists at? Hey, Jeff, you in New York. Hey, the Mecca of culture and artistry. Hey, you know any artists who can do better courts than these?
I mean, some of the courts are cool. It's year one also, so we'll see. If I had to live through the sleeve era of jerseys, I can live
at that mess.
I mean, yeah, some of them are a little harsh on the eyes. I like Milwaukee's court last night. I didn't like what happened on the court, but I like Milwaukee's court. I like the Knicks court that they had for blue and orange. They made it the most mute as possible, right? But this is what I'll tell you, Holley, about the in-season tournament. You may not have had to be bought in. I may not have to have been bought in because we're basketball fans at heart and we're going to watch the season. Have you seen them cord-cutting numbers? Have you seen them cable numbers and live sports being the last vestige of an era that we came up in where cable TV was king and subscription TV was king in terms of a cable TV? There's reasons why they do need fans, especially the casual fan who they're trying to bring into their product, to be bought in from a business aspect. In terms of the actual competition, we've seen success in European soccer. This has been hundreds of years, like at least 100 year plus, where they've had these tournaments where as a soccer fan, when I first started, I didn't understand why. It was random to me. You have this tournament, then another tournament, then you're competing against all the teams in Europe to see who's the best. But they were fully bought in because they had already had these competitions instilled into the culture of their sport. This is year one. Right. 15 years from now, with maybe even more elevated stakes and buy-in from the teams that have been playing and establishing winners, we may feel differently, or the purists may feel differently about it. I think it's something, at the very least, to make those first 2 months more interesting, because you get a little bit of coasting before Christmas, and then they turn it up once after All-Star break. But now you get something, you get it more meaningful. I do think they can add other stakes. Like, I had an idea about letting the in-season tournament winner have an ultimate tiebreaker for playoff positioning, depending on where they finish at the end of the regular season. So if you finish as a lottery team, you automatically get the 10th seed. If you finish 7 through 10, you get the 7th seed, which means you get 2 chances to have a home court play-in game to get into the playoffs. If you finish 2 through 6, you get home court throughout the Eastern or Western Conference playoffs, regardless of where you finish. Like, if the number 1 seed faces the number 4 and you won the in-season tournament, you now have home court. And if you're the number 1 overall, you're guaranteed home court throughout the playoffs. That, to me, is like an ultimate stakes that you could put on this tournament to really make it matter. But for now, I do love that the players, they want to win this money, and they want to win this trophy, and they want to win this tournament just to have those players on 2-way contracts and who ain't making the mega bucks get some extra bread. So I like that.
Yeah, they want the money. The money's first. The money is the number 1 motivation for them, and then Vegas. Because if you move it around, like the NCAA tournament, to go back to that analogy, some years NCAA tournament, Final Four in Atlanta, New Orleans, cool. Some years it's in Indianapolis. Okay. Some years San Antonio. You're like, okay. So I don't know if the players, if you move this thing around, are they always going to be on board? Probably not. But the combination of money in Las Vegas, and as you said, I do appreciate looking out for those guys who don't have LeBron money, don't have KD money. But I'm gonna tell you this: with some of the suggestions that you have, bro, you don't have to just peek in the refrigerator now, Jeff. Now I got a secret stash. And now my stash is your stash. I got a secret stash and a little liquor, and I may have something else too. I mean, I want to tell everybody. I may have something else.
Don't.
You're welcome.
Because they'll find it.
You're welcome. You're welcome to that. But I wonder if you're gonna do it though. If you're gonna do an in-season tournament, really make it an in-season tournament. Go ahead and do it. Like, if you really want to commit to it, for example, NHL. There are times when the NHL players, it used to be, and they played in the Olympics, they shut down. They shut down for 6 weeks. I'm not saying that. You got to shut down the league for a month or a month to 6 weeks. But they were committed. Hey, our players in the Olympics, go ahead, do it. We'll get back to the regular season games when it's time. But have a standalone thing. Do it for 2 weeks. You can have a selection show, Jeff. And the 30th seed, who's going to be the 30th seed taking on the 1, the 2, taking on the, like all the way down. Just keep going down. Like this, the LeBron region, the Giannis region, the Tatum region. Really do it like a tournament and see who's going to win, because I don't think it's representative. All respect to the Pacers and the Pelicans. But if you thought about the Final Four, the 4 best teams in the NBA, Pacers and Pelicans in the Final Four in Vegas, I don't know.
I definitely hear you on that. I do like how they have injected some stakes into this with the games counting as regular season games. So even if you don't care, quote unquote, it still counts towards your record, and you're going to need it for eventual playoff positioning. So I definitely hear you on that. And I like the idea where if you add extra stakes to it, where it affects the end of the season along with the current season, while they count, though these tournament games count for regular season games, then it keeps everybody honest to try to get that guaranteed play-in spot, or playoff spot, if they were to raise those stakes to that level. For now, it's just we get a free trip to Vegas. We get a trip to Vegas. They get money at every level if you qualify for the quarters, semi, and the finals, and then the winners get $500K. So they have some incentive now, but I do think if they think about it and they tweak it some more, we could really have something special.
I know The Color Purple is coming out, the remake of The Color Purple. You've seen the trailers for this?
Yeah,
They're about to do this thing again. This is almost like what we've been here, and not that I want to be compared, either one of us want to be compared to Mr., but it's almost like Mr. and Suge's husband. They were enemies. And then all of a sudden, they're like boys, and they're smashing each other in the face with like pies and laughing and ha, ha, ha. See, like, we were fighting, and now we're buddies. And now we're cool.
I love it.
And now, now it's time to take a break. It's time to take a break, but I tell you, you won me over. You won me over, because I was going to say, who let him in here? Who let him in?
Who in the hell left the gate open?
and now I'm saying, no, Jeff, stay, man, stay.
Love it.
Come on, we got something going on here. Good stuff, though. I'm glad to know, though, that's a response. That's a response to some haters.
Let's get crazy.
I feel better.
I like it.
I feel much better. Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.